Hey guys, so I have the opportunity to do a quick inspection of an air sealing and insulation job. And this is a particular issue in a metal building that is mostly acting as like a highway garage for the city of Northampton. But they also have a storage section, and so it's a good opportunity to kind of look at what are the types of things that are locations where air leaks happen, and how do air sealers do their jobs. And then I'm also going to show you a particular kind of blower door test. So here we are up in the in this attic of this metal building, and you can see that we've got our trusses. It's got ventilation at the ridge, and at the soffits they've used this kind of house wrap material to basically act as a baffle. But if we look down at the exterior wall, this is an insulated wall because it's a storage area. Here you've got this entire top cavity here is just filled with a fiberglass insulation. And as we've talked about, fiberglass just moves air right through it. And so you can see the size of the gaps, if you can just see just how giant these gaps are. So that's an exterior wall. What we can also see here is an interior wall that's also insulated. In a sense, it's the exterior of that storage area, but it's going right up into the middle of the attic. And so you can just kind of see it extends all the way from one side to the other. Now I'm up here with some air sealers from Energia. It's actually, I think, a pretty great company out of Holyoke. And so they're using, one of the only good uses for bubble foil or Reflectex is this, is covering large areas. And you'll see he's stapling it down. Next, you get to watch, so I never caught your name.
Angel.
Angel, we're going to watch Angel actually do, because no pressure, dude, a good air sealing job, which is we're going to cut Reflectex, staple it down, and then just use gum foam, one part foam, to seal the edges. And so you can see here he's cut it, and he's got a few staples, and they're just really holding it in place. So this is you can think of it as a flexible but semi-rigid material, which allows you to have a bit more purchase on it than you would if you had some very, very flexible material. Now here, you can see the builder installed, and we're going to watch the gun foam going on, and that expands just slightly, and if you get the good bead on it, it will stick. It's basically glue with a pellet blown into it, and that's going to therefore create a seal to the wood and to the Reflectex, sealing or making continuous this air barrier. Now, strangely, the air barrier here is this plastic sheeting, which if you had asked me what to do, I would have said, let's skip the plastic sheeting and just seal the metal panels with tape, and that would have been a simpler job, lower cost, etc. But now they have the challenge of trying to seal the plastic sheeting, right? They have to actually take all these overlaps where the plastic sheeting is just sitting there. It's designed as a vapor barrier. But of course, metal's a vapor barrier, so they don't really need another one. But now they do have this challenge of trying to connect the flaps, the loose flaps of the vapor barrier, because if you get enough air pressure, like you might get through the stack effect or a strong wind, you can pull air up, and it's going to find a path between the flaps of the vapor retarder. And we can see this is the challenge. This is the uncomfortable challenge of having to get into the edges here. That same structure that we saw on the gable ends of these walls, on the eve ends of the walls. Now you got to reach in and seal it up with Reflectex. And we got some crawl boards here, but you can see here they've done that exact job over here, and he's got this bait to still do. So here we are in the storage area that is the place that I'm going to pressurize. Now normally we would pressure test a whole building, and we'd actually measure the airflow and try to keep the airflow under a certain amount. In this case, This building is actually quite leaky, and if you looked at the whole rest of the building, it's got garage doors everywhere, and those are inherently leaky. So we're not really looking to seal the attic, or seal the whole building. We're mainly looking to make sure that the connection to the attic is cut off. We want to seal the attic from the rest of the space so that any heat and moisture that's generated here doesn't get up into the attic. Now, so here, I've already set up the cowling for my blower door in this door here, and we will set up the rest of the door, and then I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now we have the blower door set up. So we've got the cowling in the door frame, and it's sealed, well, certainly tight enough for this application, creating a barrier at the door, and then we've inserted the fan into the hole, and it's got its cowling around. Now here's our controller. Now we're always measuring pressures with reference to something. So in this case, we're measuring the inside pressure, right? So we're measuring the pressure inside, that's our input, with reference to outside. And so we have this green tube that's going out to the outside, and it's kind of thrown out around the side, outside where you can't really see it, but it's out there out of the windstream of the blower door. So now we're going to measure in the other channel of this manometer, right? This is a pressure meter. In the other channel, we're going to be measuring with the red tube the pressure of the fan with reference to the inside. So we're taking the pressure inside with reference to the outside and the pressure of the fan with reference to the inside. And that difference, because this fan is a calibrated fan, if we set it up correctly, will allow us to accurately measure. By using the two pressure differences, we can then accurately measure how much air is flowing through the fan to create the pressure difference. We're actually taking a pressure tube, an air tube, and running it up into the attic. And we're going to then connect that to our manometer down below, and that will allow us to measure the difference in pressure between the depressurized room and supposedly disconnected attic. So now we're going to run the blower door. So first thing we're going to want to do is we want to get the baseline. So we're going to actually let the thing measure the baseline for us. So it's just recording this baseline pressure, which, because there's some wind, it's actually a positive pressure right now, and we want to neutralize it. So we're just going to cancel out that baseline, and when we get to an average that we think is, long enough to represent the changes, now as we have a bunch of wind, it might change a lot, right? So we started out positive, now we're negative. So I think we're going to enter at baseline. So it's now going to automatically adjust for that baseline. So because we've been able to do that, now we can take off the blockage or the cowling to expose the fan. And now we're going to let the fan run, and we're going to say, okay, we just want to start the fan. So it's beginning the cruise, and it's going to try and get to negative 50 pascals. So we're depressurizing the building. We're going to get ourselves to negative 50 pascals of pressure. And the nice thing about being able to set this thing up to cruise, and it's going to fluctuate around those, and you can see that it's not getting enough pressure to actually take a good reading, but it is going to be enough pressure for us to get a good reading on the difference between here and up in the attic. So here we can just turn this on, and we are just looking at the difference between up there and down here. So if we look here, we've got positive 50 point something or other. So we're around 50, 51. We're doing pretty well. So that is this room with reference to the other place. If we're depressurizing this room, then the outside should be at about 50 pascals. So if we look at this pressure here, we're normalizing it. pretty close to 50 pascals. And here we've got the same pressure difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a long time average on both of them. All right, we're going to take a long time average on both of them, and we're going to record what we got. So here we are at 50.7, and here we are at about 50.